Capture target area. Hold position as long as possible.
What's going on, guys? This is the Brigade once again, and we're back at it with another session of Killzone Shadow Fall. Alright, guys, so it seems as though recently they removed the classic Warzone from the main page, and now we have the extended Warzones, which actually have been a lot of fun. For a lot of you guys who have been playing lately, you guys will, I'm pretty sure most people will agree that our numbers, at least in this Warzone, have went up. So I have reason to believe that people are at least more interested in some of these larger war zones, right? Not the classic, not the 7v7s, but I have reason to believe that people are at least more interested in those with higher numbers. Right now, what that higher number will be, who knows? Personally, I like the 12v12s. Others are arguing for 9v9s for whatever reason that they like them. I like to keep it consistent with the traditional Killzone of having some of the larger war zones. All right, so be that as it may. One thing that I want to talk about in particular in this video is basically, is it inevitable that you will eventually become a pub stumper, right? Either a pub star or a pub stumper. Now, I know some of you guys may be saying to yourself, hey, what direction we going in this time there, Brigade? Well, you know, I'm playing on a team against one of the most classicest pub stumping clans that I think there is on the eastern servers of Killzone Shadow Fall, right? And that's Rodham. Oh my God. They have got to be the most notorious clan for pub stomping on the eastern servers. Right now, I don't know about western servers, don't know about the UK servers, but one of the downsides, and you know, this is kind of discouraging personally, but one of the downsides to having such a small player base is that almost every day that I play, no matter what time, in most cases I run into the same players, like all the time. Same players. And whereas it's cool on some cases, you know, it's not necessarily cool in other cases. Right? Like sometimes I'll get into a pub and actually matchmaking works well. So in other words, it'll be like me, maybe two other really experienced players, and the rest will be, you know, relatively new. And the same could be said for the opposing team, right? And I'll actually have fun because basically it's balanced. Then I'll run into situations like this, where it's basically me and maybe one or two other players that are the most experienced, and the vast majority of our team are inexperienced. Now, why am I saying is it inevitable? Well, you know, somebody recently created a post on the forums, and they're basically saying that if you don't join a clan, don't bitch about anything. Here's my answer to that. I was actually a part of Rodham, right? And there's a lot of good players. You know, there's a few good players. Now, some of the ones in particular that I know of are really good. There's this guy, Assassin Ninja. I think it's Assassin 1 Ninja. I don't know if the one is supposed to place the I, but I'll just say Assassin Ninja. Let's see, there's Assassin. Oh, some guy, Jew Bear, or the Jew Bear. That guy's really good. Who else? Panero's good. Titan Fitness, he's not a part of Rodham, but I know he plays a lot with them. Not all the time, but I know every now and then when I see them pump stomping, I'll see him. He's good. Man, there's a chick on that team too. What's her name? I think it's like Kill You Later, or Killalicious, or Kill You Later, or something like that. I think it's Killalicious or some shit like that. But she's actually really good. But a lot of those other guys, you know, like they're not really all that fantastic as individuals. Now keep in mind, I'm not fantastic either. Right? But I'm just saying, the thing that allows them to do so well, in my personal opinion, is the fact that you have a lot of experience stacked against one team. As I've said before, now, if you guys pay attention, we have this new menu, for which I love this new menu. It's similar to the final scoreboard that you would see in Killzone 3. Right? And if you guys can see right now, It's 10 versus, is that 10 versus 12? Okay, so we finally got 2 people. Now, if you notice, some of these guys have decent KDRs, right? In addition to KDRs, you know, for some of those who may not necessarily have the greatest KDRs, what you'll notice is that a lot of these guys have games played in the thousands, right? Not 50, you know, not 100, not 75, not 200, you know, not 300. But a lot of these guys have a shit ton of experience, which actually, when you converge a few players with decent KDRs with many more players with a shit ton of experience, you can really do a lot. Because in other words, I don't think the average clan are like fucking ID. You know, some of these guys who all have 2.5 KDRs, you know, or, you know, maybe PK, you know, PKY, you know, everybody's in the fucking clans got like at least a 1.7 or a 1.5. I don't think the average clan have players, you know, with everyone who has stats like that. But, you know, when you just run around one of these, you know, regular clans, it's not necessarily that everybody is awesome. It's the fact that a lot of people have a basic understanding that spawn beacons are important, and they converge a lot of their experience, which really gives them the benefit. So that's one of the downsides to becoming a pub stomper, right? To kind of shift the tides. And the thing is, like, if only, like, for example, like, there's a couple guys that I play with. I'm not even a part of a clan. And, you know, sometimes, in most cases, we don't even party up. It's just that, you know, if they're on my friends list, like, maybe I'll say, oh, holy shit, this guy is on. Let me just go ahead and join his game. Like, we're not even communicating in most cases. But because they play well as an individual, they know what to do as individuals. A lot of times when we're on the same teams together, we do really, really, really well. No matter if we're faced against pump stompers or not. Because, you know, there's been a number of occasions where maybe me, maybe 1 or 2 other players are on one team and we're faced against pub stompers, and like, we actually win. Now, this is not to suggest in any way that all credit should be given to me and at least 1 or 2 other persons. No, because it's a team effort. What I'm saying is, when you have experience equally matched up, then you have a good idea as to who's better, right? And the thing that really benefits clans like this one is the fact that they have a lot of experience stacked on one team against a lot of brand new players who really don't know what the hell to do other than run, gun, and shoot, right? So I asked the question, is it inevitable? And the main reason why I asked that question is because, like I said before, there's a posting in the forums that basically said, listen, dude, like, if you're not a part of a clan, like, don't bitch about anything. Don't say anything. And the reason why I left the clan, and I think I've talked about this before, is because pub stomping is boring, in my personal opinion. Like, it's really boring. You don't really get a lot of kills, because if you keep your opponent's pubs base trapped, a lot of times they can't get out. And it's basically a fucking scavenger hunt for, you know, whatever available body you can see. So in other words, let's just say one person makes it out the base, where everybody's racing to get that kill. And a lot of times you'll just get a whole bunch of, you know, everyone who has like low kill numbers, right? And it's basically because, like, no one is out to compete. You can't really do anything. And it was always boring to me just to have 8 guys base trapping. Now, in some cases, it's funny. You know, when I first... Honestly, when I first got the game, it was funny because it reminded me so much of what some of the experiences from Killzone 3 and Killzone 2. But to consistently do that, it got boring. So if the argument is, you know, either you become a clan or don't bitch about it, like can there not be a happy medium? Like, in other words, even if I did join a clan, must I only ban up with clans and pub stomp? You know, and so in other words, to not be able to complain, I mean, to be able to not complain. I don't know, like there has to be a happy medium. In a lot of cases, I actually find games where the matchmaking works, right? There's only a few players with experience, and they're matched and they're paired off on a team with a lot of, let's just say 500s and under. And I know people have said plenty of times before, the number of challenges are not an indicator of a person's skill. Yeah, that is true. But to some degree, it is an indicator of a person's experience. And in a lot of cases, what you need is a lot of experience, and not necessarily everyone to have, 2.0 KDRs, 1.7 KDRs. Because keep in mind, my KDR on this particular account, my main account, my Martyrs Brigade account, is like a 1.19. Right? And I've explained in previous videos why that is. For the first 3 months, like from the release of the game until like mid to late January, I played wireless on a 50-inch screen TV. Once I educated myself and I switched to a wired connection with a 42-inch TV, like my gameplay improved like tenfold. Right, so in other words, for the first, I'll just say like maybe 3 months of the game, I was like at I was just at a 1.0 KDR, and after those 3 months, I've amassed like 30,000 kills. Right, so once you get to a certain point of amassing so many kills, it's really, 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 really difficult to start to see your KDR increase. But after 2 months, it went up, like 0.18 points. Right, so it's a slow increase, but the fact that I can see it makes me really believe that a wired connection with a smaller screen size really makes a difference. Now, to test this theory, what I did was I created an alternate account. Right, and I don't know, maybe one of these days I'll tell you what the alternate name is. Right, but I played 300 games on that account. And actually, you know what? One of these days I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you guys that account, and I'm going to go ahead and explain the comparison, because that was the only way for me to gauge it, right? And once again, KDR is not the world to me. To a lot of people, KDR is the world. Like, they love to brag about KDRs. To me, it's not really all of that. But as far as comparing the difference, it is an indicator. So on that second account, I think I've played about 300 games. And over 300 games, I have above a 1.5. So on the one hand, I started a profile with 3 months of wireless and a 50-plus inch television for the vast majority of the time. And then on the second account, it was just purely 42-inch television with a wired connection. And I mean, like, you can't even argue the difference. And I know some of you guys may say, well, Brigade, maybe you're just playing better because you have more experience now. Well, I've always been familiar with Killzone games. Like, first-person shooters are not all that different. And even if you want to argue that Killzone itself is a new game, I mean, they pretty much all feel the same, right? So it's not like you're going from Call of Duty to Killzone. The feel is obviously different when you play those two games. Most Killzone games are pretty much the same, right? So maybe I'll just talk about that in another video. But in other words, back to the subject. The main reason why I never stuck with a clan is because I don't enjoy pub stomping. Like, it's boring. You have to share kills. It's not really exciting. And base trapping all the time. Like, I really see no joy in continuously base trapping. I have the most fun when you're stacked against a team that's at least giving you a challenge. And dude, I've had some extremely fun matches, and there's like little to no pub stomping. I've been in some good matches at other times where the other team are pub stompers, and I just so happen, just by coincidence, to be on another team. Like, no clan tags, maybe one or two, but we all have decent experience, and we have outplayed the opposing team, right? So I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle about that. I understand what they're saying, but I just simply don't agree, because it can't be one or the other. Because pub stomping, in my personal opinion, is extremely boring, and I really don't see the enjoyment that these guys get at doing this, because they consistently do it. And then A downside that really pisses me off, I've played on the opposite team on some of these pub stompers, and when they get faced up against a team that kicks their ass, like they all back out. And that's what I really don't have respect for. It's not necessarily the fact that they just love to pub stomp. It's the fact that once they find competition, many of them quit. So I'd like to hear some of you guys' view on the subject. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And hey, until next time, Martyrs Brigade is out.